Question and answers from Understanding History and Timelines. What kind of information do we get from inscriptions? Inscriptions provide us with names of the rulers, the size of their empires. It also tells us about the beliefs and language used by the people. Why is it important to preserve sources of history? It is important to take care of historical monuments and remains as they help us learn about the past and make us feel proud about our rich past. What are literary sources? Literary sources are the information gathered in written records that explain the importance of ancient culture. These records tell us about the lives of the people, their kings, their laws, and religious beliefs and practices. What is meant by sources of history and how does it help us? Historians look at objects used in the past to learn about the people who use them. These objects are called sources of history. These sources help us with information about the past. How does the study of coins help us? Coins provide information about the past. One can get an idea about the name of the ruler and place to which the coin belongs. We get to know the metal available in that place. We also know the date and language used. The study of ancient remains is archaeology. The study of coins is numismatics. The study of inscriptions is epigraphy. The writing on palm leaf and bark of birch tree is called manuscripts. The remains of plants and animals whose bodies were buried in sediments is called fossils. Self-written accounts of the life of oneself is autobiography. The one who wrote Akbarnama, Abul Fazl. The autobiography of Babur is Babar Nama. The two great epics are Ramayana and Mahabharata. Two foreign travelers who visited India, Hyun Sang and Fa Hin. Ancient buildings like palaces, forts, and temples built by humans. Monuments. The two sources of history are archaeological and literary. People who excavate sites by digging for buried remains are called archaeologists. Written or engraved messages on pillars and copper plates, inscriptions. Religious sources of history, examples are Vedas, Puranas, and Upanishads. The people who examine the remains dug by archaeologists and write books are called historians. Why are timelines important? Give an example. Timelines are an important source of history as they give us the exact dates that events happened in the past. In a timeline, events are arranged starting with the earliest to the latest date. Example, the birth of Christ at 0 year, 1950 CE, India became a republic. How are the months in a Sakha year? The months in the first half of the Sakai year have 31 days, keeping in mind the slow movement of the sun across the sky during this time. What is meant by Anno Domini? In history, dates are counted from the year of the birth of Christ. The year after his birth was written as AD or Anno Domini, which in Latin means in the year of our Lord. Why were AD and BC replaced by CE and BCE? The Gregorian calendar was invented in Europe where most of the people were Christians. In order to remove the religious element, AD was replaced by CE and BC by BCE. What are the similarities between Gregorian and Sakha calendar? Both calendars are based on one complete revolution of the earth around the sun and are solar calendars. Both have 365 days in a year. Both have 12 months in a year, and both have 366 days in a leap year. What is a leap year? Every 4 years, February has 29 days, and that year is called a leap year. A leap year has 366 days. Which century does 1768 CE fall in? The 18th century CE. What are the dissimilarities between Gregorian and Sakha calendar? Gregorian starts with the month of January. Sakha starts with the month of Chaitra, which falls on March 21 or 22 of the Gregorian calendar. The Gregorian calendar is 78 years before the Sakha calendar. Sakha calendar starts 78 years after the Gregorian. So any day in a Sakha calendar would be 78 years before the Gregorian calendar.